So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the James Gunn rehiring. I don't think he was ever really fired. I think he was temporarily suspended, and while he was in that suspension, uh, they were, you know, investigating more of what was going on with him, and just covering their ass while they're dealing with the outrage. I think that they probably did, because there are directors that have said, they were asked about it. I think that they probably were looking for alternatives as just backups, not seriously considering taking them on unless real evidence came out against James Gunn that suggests he actually is a pedophile. His jokes were really, really disgusting and out there. And, at first I was like, well, though those were years ago, and you can't really hold somebody accountable for something they did almost a decade ago, still hold it against them, act like they can't change when it's people change all the time, people evolve. You're not who you are until you are who you are. You don't know what you don't know until you know. So until the easiest way to learn in life is to make mistakes, to screw up, and that's when you really learn that you've got to change. Now, these jokes, though, I mean, I'm a father of two. These jokes were absolutely disgusting. A bunch of pedophile jokes about children. That's not something I can see how anybody can joke around about. I mean, I make some pretty dark jokes and stuff, but never with children. That's unacceptable in my eyes. But at the end of the day, everybody, it's freedom of speech in this country. I mean, it's freedom of speech. Roseanne got canned for her controversial words or whatever, and she got canned, disowned. So to me, it seemed appropriate that if we're gonna play this fair, if you're gonna disown somebody over controversial words, then you have to hold everybody accountable across the board. So and like I said, at first I was bothered by the fact that he got laid off. But when you start to see his jokes and stuff, you're like, well, maybe that was for the best, considering that Disney is, all about family image and all that. But, oh man, but, but, then the stuff came out with him being at to catch a predator party, and that was really insane and out there. And I'm like, all right, this, just get rid of him. I can't stand by this dude. I can't support that. That is really, really out there and questionable. Plus, he had association with known pedophiles. Um, and who decides who throws this kind of party? Who says I have? It would be a really cool idea to throw a pedophile themed party. I mean, who does that? Who has that many friends? Who thinks I have that many friends that I can make this a party? That many friends that would be okay, interesting, and even enjoy this kind of thing. I don't know who does that, why they do that. The whole thing is just absolutely disgusting, really questionable behavior. But this is Hollywood, and been a lot of things. There's been a lot of things that lead me to believe that it will not be long before they're pushing to normalize pedophilia. There has been a lot to suggest that over the past couple of years. All this stuff going on with drag kids, where it's okay for a child to dress up and dance at a gay bar, have people throw money at him to strip down. You got the other drag kid that's allowed to take nude photos, or well, practically nude photos. I mean, you got a grown ass man with just a simple like cloth over his junk covering his genitalias, and he's all up close and personal with a kid in the picture, and it's very sexualized. And you got people that when these kids come on talk shows, they applaud it, and they encourage it, and you got parents saying that it's okay, and you even have them saying they call it childrenism, I think, that it's a form of discrimination if you don't encourage your kids and support them in this kind of behavior. They're kids, okay? You want them to grow up and be drug addicts or commit suicide, because that's what's going to happen to these kids. It's what's going to happen to these kids when they become adults. They're going to be very messed up individuals. You cannot let kids make these decisions for themselves. They need discipline and guidance, and they don't know who they are yet. They are children. You cannot just encourage them to do whatever. There has to be guidance. There has to be limitations. They change over the course of time. Everybody changes, like, especially from a child. You're not going to be... children change drastically. But this whole James Gunn situation, and another thing to add to that, I think that pedophilia they'll try to normalize it at some point, because all these crazy far left fringe groups, they keep pushing the envelope on everything. You got them wanting to pretty much execute babies out of the womb once they're born, or you've got all this crazy stuff. You got people denying science for saying that there's no such thing as biological sex. You got all this crazy stuff going on. And, NewsStand did, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but NewsStand did a video where he covered this article or book or whatever, where it questioned if pedophilia was a mental illness. So it's gonna get there where they're gonna think it's okay. I really think they're pushing for that they're there are other things, like they have drag shows at comic book shops, conventions, or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but NewsStand covered that in an episode, or in one of her videos. Episode. But this whole thing, it's really alarming. Disney's supposed to be all about their family image, yet they've rehired James Gunn. Like I said, I don't think he was ever really fired. He was just on suspension until they could evaluate the situation properly. And they did seek out other directors to see if they could, in case things went south, to see if they could take over. But it's just entirely hypocritical of Disney and the far left, as always, because you have all kinds of people that supported disowning Roseanne, throwing her off the air. You've got all kinds of people that went after what's his name, Kevin Hart, for jokes, gay jokes, and all kinds of other stuff. You have many cases of this. You even have Tucker Carlson, as of recent, just making some sarcastic, sexist remarks, and people calling for him to be fired and all this and that. You have all this ridiculous stuff. Meanwhile, you have rich, privileged person like James Gunn, who made all these sexual jokes about children, about women, all these really sexist jokes, and he's getting rehired onto a company that's supposed to be all about family image. It just goes to show that they don't really care and they don't really live by the standards they claim to. They always have these double standards and where things are okay for them to do and it's not okay for other people to do. It's just completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. I think James Gunn is a good director, a good writer. He's good at what he does, but he's a questionable human being, and I do not doubt that for a second. I won't I won't, call for his firing or whatever over words. I won't, recommend that he just be done away with or anything like that. I think that's a bit extreme, but he should be held accountable to a degree and he should be viewed as questionable. He should, without a doubt, he is a questionable human being because he can claim that he was just trying to be edgy or whatever, but there's a line, there's a limit, and he crossed it. Now, am I excited for Guardian? I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They mean a lot to me, so I will see the third movie. But here's the thing. Here's the thing too. Disney's got Brie Larson now, and Brie Larson's made a lot of comments that piss me off too. I don't like her. I don't like James Gunn. The Mouse House is full of these people who make all these really ridiculous statements and things like that. And they virtue signal very, very hard, but they're always questionable people. And here's the thing: you got Brie Larson, someone who's pushing for women's rights and all that, virtue signaling very, very hard for women and people of color. And here you have, and her character is a cosmic character, so no doubt she's gonna have to work with James Gunn to some degree. And James Gunn is, from the tweets, really sexist and stuff, and Brie Larson has shunned what was it, Casey Affleck, shunned Casey Affleck for a very somewhat similar thing, sexist stuff pulled up from the past. Yet she's gonna have to work side by side with James Gunn at some point. And how's this gonna go? How's this gonna work? Is it just going to be, oh, it's fine because he's aligned with my political beliefs, so it's fine for him to do this, but not other people? Or what's the deal here? How's this going to work? And how's this? I these people, I don't understand any of this. These people do just, Jesus, man, Jesus. But these are just my thoughts on the situation or whatever. I'm not saying anybody should just... Whatever. This is Hollywood. They're all a bunch of crazy, sick wackos that don't live in reality. Yeah. I think there should be... that. Really, they should not... when you're working for these companies and stuff, they should say, hey, don't come out and say anything. You keep your opinions to yourself. I've hired you on for my movie, and until we're done with this movie, just don't spew anything crazy out there. I don't know. And it shows that Disney doesn't live by the standards it claims to. It shows that Disney is as corrupt as everybody believes. And all this stuff going on with Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. There's a lot of questionable stuff out there. Some people are alleging that Disney is possibly buying tickets because there's a lot of Captain Marvel empty theaters. But I think it's highly likely that a bunch of SJWs probably bought up a lot of tickets and just didn't go see the movie. Because we all know that they don't really like the stuff that they get involved in. They don't like video games. They don't really like superhero movies. They don't really like, comic books. They don't like any of that. So it's highly possible a bunch of SJWs just bought up a bunch of tickets just to support the movie and didn't go. That's highly possible. But JohnTalks also did a video here recently where he talks about, shadow theaters and stuff like that. Stuff that they actually do in business. And he's got the evidence and all that in his videos. So check out his video on that subject. JohnTalks. Pretty good YouTube channel. He covers a lot of the Captain Marvel stuff going on currently. And if you want to see the most, I'd say the most elaborate coverage on this whole James Gunn situation, I'm not subscribed to GraceRandolph, but she did a video on this subject, and I thought it was great. I thought it really, really went in depth and covered the situation completely, and all the hypocrisy in it, and all the disgusting, gritty details. So check her out. She's a big channel. She's got a lot of subscribers. JohnTalks, he's a growing channel. He's got a lot of subscribers. Check both of them out on those videos. The coverage on the Captain Marvel situation with the shadow theaters I talked about, and GraceRandolph for the James Gunn situation, where you can see all the details about the stuff he tweeted, the things he said, and the Disney image, and how Brie Larson and James Gunn may not see eye to eye on the subject or whatever. But it's a lot of questionable stuff right here. James Gunn being rehired. I just want to put one video out there and just moved on from the subject. I don't really want to talk about it anymore, because these people give me a massive headache. It makes me want to just ram my head into the wall, because there is no logic or rules in any of the stuff they do. They claim there are. They claim they have strong morals and values and principles, but they don't. They absolutely have none at all. Disney is corrupt. It's funny, when I was younger, I used to joke around all the time about how Disney is just evil and they're going to try to buy up everything one day. And this was before they bought up, the Marvel and Star Wars stuff. Man, when they bought Star Wars, I was like, oh God, it's over. My heart just sunk. It felt really wrong, and we've seen the way it's gone. So, comment down below. Tell me what you think of all this stuff, this James Gunn stuff, this Disney stuff, this hypocrisy, and all the pedophile stuff going on that it seems like mainstream media is trying to normalize, and celebrities and Democrats and all this weird stuff. It's really disgusting. I think all this stuff is really disgusting, and this might be another attempt at trying to normalize such things. And it's really absurd that YouTube, my adopted son turned 3 yesterday. I would have made a video and had him on here so people can wish him a happy birthday, but YouTube's disabling comments for videos with children in it, and while Tim Pool's reported that they've left the Drag Kids channel alone, they've disabled comments on educational and harmless videos that are good for children, that feature children and discuss children topics. They've disabled comments on those, but they've let the Drag Kid comments stay there, and it just makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So you can wish my son a happy birthday in the comments down below. I'll show it to him sometime if anybody checks this video out. Anyways, like, subscribe, enter your comments down below. Let me know what you think of all these subjects. Stay awesome. Rock on.